Glad to have you back. It's still the Tuesday's edition of the award-winning Morning Flight and award-winning station Lovewood XP, where there's a convergence of faith and entertainment. And a very distinguished gentleman, a very good friend of the house, Ambassador Roy Ohedeve, has joined us this morning here in the studio. Not just a retired soldier, but one person who also enjoys talking politics and talking about contemporaneous issues. And that's exactly what we're doing here on this program this morning. It's a pleasure having you on the program.
Twe so much.
We are the best in the world.
The best in the world, indeed.
Right. We started seeing a script that we're used to seeing. Preparatory to the 2023 election, there were some abductions, killings, and all of those. If you remember the Bring Back Our Girls. Of course, there will be an election 2027, right? If and when Jesus tarries. However, over the weekend, some things that we're used to seeing have started manifesting. In Danso, Wagadu, in Kebbi State, 25 girls were abducted in a girls' secondary school. Also, unspecified number of residents were also taken. In Zamfara State, same happened. And you keep asking, why do all of these happen few months to elections? What do our politicians will really gain if and when there is instability?
Let me give a sigh. I just want to know how you feel asking that question. I just want to think like one of the victims, parents of the victims. Yeah. I just want to try to visualize how each of those girls, what they are going through right now. The abuse, the violence, the bastardization. I'm just thinking about those girls in the hands of drug addicts, radicalized people. You know, so you see, some of these things is very emotional when you are a professional and you can understand what the victim is going through. It is when you know what the victims are going through and you partake of that emotional abuse they are going through, the parents, the victims themselves. That is when you can stand up to arms. It is when you understand that it is your territorial integrity that is being abused and people voted you into power. And you have institutions mandated to create the kind of stability, monitoring systems, and coordination to refuse opportunities for people to build selves, grow it into armed militia, and begin to take up space. It is an insult not to have a policing system in place that you will not have a word again in your country called unpoliced areas. When you see 25 girls being taken away, imagine other countries where one person is taken away and that becomes a national issue. The governor was not on ground. The deputy governor is going there to show solidarity. What a situation.
Amazing. You know, when we look at things like this and well, somebody will say, oh, maybe because Joy, you're a girl. But, you know, the place of a lady in a nation cannot be overemphasized. We've seen how that in recent years, women are actually taking up positions of authority. We've seen that women are taking up positions of leadership where they are beginning to, you know, prefer meaningful solutions to things that are happening in the nation. And time and time again, we've seen this adoption of ladies, and I'm wondering why. Why the girls' school? Why the girls' school? Why not the boys' school? Why the girls' school? What is the mystery behind this adoption of women or adoption of girls in Nigeria, particularly?
Okay. Now, terrorism, one of the driving goals of terrorism is to cause national and international fear, pandemonium, panic. That is the purpose of terrorism. When they can create that pandemonium, they start to negotiate with someone that is panicky, or a nation or a people that are panicky. Now, girls' schools. If a girl goes to school, especially in the north, it's supposed to be an asset. I'm just wondering how many women we have in Nigeria that have education and are placed in strategic places.
Yeah.
Now, whether it is 1 girl, 5 girls, 10 girls, 200 girls, in a school, it becomes a national asset. Many people in government, they park their new SUV that the government bought for them with taxpayers' money, and there is a driver, there is an escort. They still look through the window to be sure the vehicle is there, and they still make sure that it is parked in a safe place. Then the people that pay
And
the
that's a car.
taxes, yeah, it's a car. It's a car, sir. The
Not a human
wristwatches they buy from Dubai and Spain, they have a closet where they put it. It is biometric control to open where they put wristwatches.
Amazing.
Government officials. But a human life, a young girl, believing in education, believing that one day she will add value to the country, to the nationality, and give Nigeria a positive outlook and interrogate international arguments for the country.
Yes.
Went to school, there is no protective measures. How does it take to protect a school? You can even do it in a guise. I'm asking, what is the DSS doing? We always believe that, call the army, call the military, call the military. Where are your Tucanos? There are no continuous active intervention when you don't go into covert delineation. It's not continuous. You can't always call the army to intervene. You're supposed to make sure that there is no activity that grows into capacity for the terrorists to group up,
Yes.
arm themselves, control finances, get food, get drugs,
Get
get
supplies.
space, and get people's trust. So people's trust is part of security. When the police lost people's trust, to the extent that we had NSAS, I came here, we spoke about it. What is the rebuilding processes for people's trust? Then population. We are building the military. How many new police command zones have been pushed into those areas we call unpoliced areas?
Yes.
We have more than 7 universities in Nigeria that have people studying security and intelligence studies. They come out from school, my box is full with CVs. They get jobs of 40,000, 50,000. Why not populate those university data? Send them SMSs, the ones that graduate meritoriously or whatever. If you are interested in joining the police, come to your university so and so day. Then the police comes to the university with the university community, recruit people in bulk that are graduates. Don't pay less than 300, 400K. And let them begin to open new police commands. That is even the one you can see. Can't the police and the DSS create a team that will be driving Okada or Korope or whatever in those areas? Can't we have fishermen that are policemen, that are DSS in those areas that there are bandits, and give correct intelligence and uproot them immediately? That's for the activity of covert operations. What about the judiciary? How many are taken to the judiciary that are still unsolved? Where phone calls will come and personal interests will begin to interplay to suppress the opportunity of our institutions to protect us. And they take our taxes. Where are we?
Right.
Okay.
Amazing.
We recently changed Nigeria's security architecture, hierarchy rather. apart from the chief of defense staff, who moved from the lower and became the substantive chief of defense staff, of course, the chief of defense intelligence, who retained its position. The other ones were swept away. Other people came into the fray. And you will naturally expect that this will give some stability. This will give some peace. This will, and also a lot of deployments and redeployments. In spite of this, all of these are still happening. We're not even talking about Katsina, where some local governments are even being controlled by the militia as we speak.
Well, I've told people all the time, the changing of service chiefs is a waste of time, you know. I will even prefer you allow the ones that are serving run out their tenure. Service chiefs are not the change makers. They can only come and work in frustration. Frustration. Why? Because a service chief, he needs up to the last of the private soldier, of all to the last of the seaman, of up to the last of the airman of the Air Force. He needs all of the troops to buy in, motivated, equipped, and believing in a governance system where my intervention is a solution. The military comes to intervene to bring solution. All these service chiefs that you see, they can't do the work that is necessary to end terrorism. They can only intervene when you have physical occupation of a place. Even if they intervene and the people delineate back into the society and regroup. Even when you take over a village, a community, and drive all the bandits, the terrorists, or whatever name you want to call them, militias, they come back and they still take over that places. The people are sent to displacement centers. The bandits themselves that are caught or come and say, "Oh God, no do again," they are taken into the radicalization system, where the same military man that they killed his colleagues, maybe he even has bullet wounds from them, we see them in cloaks, being taken care like babies. So, when you talk about new service chiefs, I think it's a wasted venture. Do you know how many generals will be retired unnecessarily, unceremoniously, once you put in somebody below a certain catchment of Nigerian Defense Academy graduates? Do you know how many values will be leaving the military?
Buhari had the kind of thing you're talking about for about the late President
25
Buhari.
years ago it started.
No. Late President Buhari did not change his service chiefs for about 7 years. And still, it was same.
Because it's not the solution. Changing of service chief is just a public show of actions that are not, we brought a new word, security architecture. So many things we like saying, de-radicalization, plea bargain, and so many other things. So we must be sure to note that one terrorist sits in his house, can be radicalized on his phone. One terrorist, one militias can be radicalized through any kind of system, religious system, community system. One terrorist can preach to another, but they need to gather. They need to move funds. They need to move from point A to point B. What community policing system do we have to say, hey, who are those guys? Hey, who is this guy? Hey, what's going on here? You know, and quickly nip it at the baby stage.
Yeah. So I know that you are the, a spokesperson for the Army veterans. And one of the things that we've seen is that, like you said, we've only seen reactions rather than proactiveness when it comes to the government responding to these insurgencies and things we see happen in our nation, especially in these northern areas where there's been insurgency, there's been kidnapping, there's been, banditry, taking away people's home livelihood and all of that. Even in the space of agriculture, we've even seen that our food is being attacked. In all of this, are you saying that the military is not, they're not so enthusiastic anymore in intervening in these kind of issues because of what we're seeing, happening, especially with this particular government?
I will say this, and I want everybody to write it down. Nigerian military, Army, Navy, Air Force, remains the most patriotic in the world. If we get 10% of what little countries' military get, not US, not UK, not the big shots, little countries, 10% of what their military gets, you will see the kind of attractiveness. What we are doing now is every military personnel in Nigeria is just grappling with his patriotic spirits, not to go out of line. Most of the military personnel that have gone out of line, the ability to apprehend those people is coordinated by the serving personnel. We don't hide criminality amongst ourselves. So if you look at the military veterans now, that is supposed to be the example of what will happen to you after this your meritorious service. So every service chief and all of them now, they are scared to lose out on the chunk opportunities. Do you see what was given to the outgoing service chiefs? The dollar every year, the $20,000, the travel, medical travels, and all of those things. Are those things in the military constitution for exiting senior officers? No, you put it politically. Why? Because the incoming will be eyeing that kind of thing and becoming beggarly to you, not standing up to the constitutional opportunities he has to defend the country. So when you see military veterans always making this sounding, because people are scared to get into the military. Most people that get into the military in Nigeria today is because they are looking at the uniform. If I wear the uniform, I can have opportunity. Negatives that we are supposed to preach against. Once I become a senior officer now, one politician might put me as one chief so that I will protect him. So everywhere they are licking the boots of politicians. Just maybe they will give you one opportunity. Maybe you become an ambassador like Buratai. At the end of the day, you are settled. So no settlement.
Decks. They become decks. They become, they are behind the decks.
Yeah. So internally. But it is a dangerous phenomenon.
So you're saying where they are being treated unfairly?
Yeah.
Definitely. Let me give you an example. There was an army military housing scheme. I am supposed to disengage and have a roof over my head. That is something I'm supposed to be eyeing. I'm not supposed to be looking at where to do one criminal thing or the other to build a house when I leave the military. But there was some corruption and other activities in there that derailed the process that have not even seen judicial intervention. The EFCC and all of them, it has been a comatose in that process. They mentioned names of people arrested, but it died there. Why? Political interest. There's supposed to be a veteran recognition whenever they come and say, you want to sell land, maybe like Piman or any of these people selling land. I go there, they'll say, are you a military veteran? You say, yes. Oh, it is this form that you will fill. Military veterans have a discount. So where are the opportunities for military veterans? I've been in 3 airports when I came into Nigeria, flying to Abuja and other places. Nothing like military veterans board fed. No logo on the wall saying, thank you for your service. None. So it makes you begin to think of how to take care of yourself. So when immediately you enter the military, your thinking of how to take care of yourself is a distraction from professionalism.
Especially when it comes to politics now.
Yes.
Assuming it's a military government is a different thing. Okay, right. Over the weekend, again, For the first time, really, in a long while, I don't think I've heard about it really, but a brigadier general was killed. And even though the army has not confirmed it, ISWAP did send the picture. ISWAP did own up to it. What is this message sending to the military and even to the country itself?
Well, ISIS is getting stronger. Okay, even currently now, they are using AI to recruit silent bombers globally. In the UK and so many other countries, they are using AI to recruit people that will serve as suicide bombers and begin to escalate their destructive tendencies. So definitely, that means they have gotten renewed funding. That means they have gotten people in key places to help them penetrate government protective measures. That means they have global plans now to renew all of those terrorism that have been happening around the world, where suicide bombing is happening even in the US, in the UK. Countries are strengthening their communities. We are strengthening our individuals in strategic places. So we preach and we sing praises to one person that drop crumbs to the rest of us, not strengthening the community. So if you look at the ISWAP, when they get emboldened and boldened, they go for the big chunk. When some young soldiers, military officers, you remember them, two of them, they went to do their wedding. They were abducted and they were killed. Yes. There are so many other soldiers that have this abduction and killing with a video that we have in our social medias. What was the reaction?
Well, not of the rank of a brigadier general.
Yeah. So sometimes now we have, let's go to civil too. We have brigadier generals in the civils like local government chairmen, commissioners, and senators. Are they not being kidnapped recently? You don't have it in your news? Yes. So the chicken is coming home to roost. Okay, it's getting closer to those at the helms of affairs. Okay, so that brigadier general, he has cosmates. That brigadier general, he has people he has also trained. So we are watching. Like you said, the military have not come out to say it's true or not true or whatever. Let's believe that this will serve as an eye-opener. Let's believe that the radicalization will be swept under the table. Let's believe that the judiciary will bring out all the files that they said, keep it there, KIV. Now they should bring out those files, all the names of sponsors, and begin to look at it. Why? Because the same military is supposed to be asking questions right now. What do we do to these our colleagues that is falling down every day?
Right. We have a comment on our group, the Morning Flight group, and this is from our own Paul Bassa, aka the ambassador. He says, "Good morning, esteemed team and family members. The conversation this morning is very important and I'm enjoying it. The reemergence of these non-state actors is sad and it must be handled quickly. We have government that come in paying lip service to a matter that is deep-rooted, which we see turning into ideologies where communities hail the bandits." And this further goes, when we heard about, that they wanted to put up the Ministry of Banditry. I was wondering, I thought to myself, what does that even mean? Is it to cater for them or to take care of their needs or to recruit them back into society? I mean, you said something while you were talking earlier, how that these bandits, some of them are being, we get a hold of these guys and then we're in the cover of taking them into rehabilitation to help them and then reintegrate them back into society. And I'm thinking, what does the law really say about people in this kind of disguise that are into abduction, into killing of people, especially citizens of a particular nation? Are they supposed to be reintegrated into society? Do they even have that, that opportunity to be reintegrated back? And then you even mentioned that some of them are being integrated back into the military, as seen as, of course, they have handled weapons before. Also, they might be able to help, protect the territory of our nation. Is that even something that the government should be thinking about right now?
Maybe we should ask him. Because to
Amazing.
me, I think that we created what we call political terrorism. I always say it all the time. Intellectual politics is when I come to you with what I have in my head and in my proven history, my background. Political terrorism is when I come to you with hoodlums and street urchins to beat you up, snatch ballot boxes, intimidate communities on who to vote for. When we started that, we reduced the politicians, reduced the police and the military. The second thing they did is to begin to be at the front line to decide who becomes the IG, the chief of staff, the this. So every officer, every police officer is praying that they become one of the favorables that they love. And once that happens, then the police officer begins to work towards what the politician wants because he wants to be favored. The military people too work towards what the politician wants because they want to be favored. And at the end of the day, you don't have professionalism in place. You have favoritism in place.
Okay, I'd like to ask this, and most of our governors, or rather, let me put it this way: some of our governors, we've seen them shedding tears, especially when we have these abductions, killings, and all of this banditry in their states. Even though the Kebbi State governor has not shed any tears anyway, right? In fact, usually they say their hands are tied; they can't do anything. And you expect that as the chief security officer of the state, that person should be able to do something. Usually they will tell us that, okay, they're waiting for the president. And yet the president, when he went to Benue State to see the governor of, to commiserate with the citizens of Benue State and the governor, he told the governor to go and mend fences with some other people in his state. Is this the way to go about doing things? And what exactly will you be expecting the president, what should he be doing as we speak?
I see a lot of activities going on WhatsApp groups, social media, where people do boast bars against
Okay, a second, I understand we do have a call.
Oh, okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mike has joined us from Lagos.
Yeah, good morning, Dickie.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Morning, sir.
First of all, the general that lost his life, may he rest in peace. Now to ask a question to Oga at the studio. We see that the general, when he escaped, he sent information where he is to the headquarters for rescue. And not quite long, the ISWAP called the same location and killed him. What is that misery in that aspect? And secondly, even this girl that was kidnapped now, we heard that even from the wife of the principal that the key, that there are more than 100. The government reported 25. You see, and thirdly, so many times we heard of reports that some generals of the government or government officials are involved in this banditry, either sponsoring or whatever. So how can this complicity of end where those who could have fight the fight are involved in the banditry? Then we also saw from recent video the meeting here with the banditry and the government in Katsina State, part of the North, having a meeting with the bandits for peace. Where's the peace now? The kidnapping, the killing increase. So how do we manage this situation? Comparing that the people who will fight the fight are involved in the banditry. Then, lastly, sir, in all these things, I dare say, and I say it always, that this current government will have don't have what it takes to fight terrorism because it is clear that they are part of it. Only a government that's neutral, who don't have agreement with them, can kill or eradicate terrorism in Nigeria. For this government, it's a time waster. Nothing can happen. Because every day increases. Every day increases. Because the lie and deception is on the hard side. You can bear with me. Many, like last time we lost Chief Army Staff. Go and verify. Me, I do investigate. Who killed that man? It's a bandit. But I will tell you, when the lie and deception is on the hard side, how can this thing be end? You make mention that they should recruit the students who study security. But how do you recruit students to fight the terrorism when those who sponsor terrorism are the who recruit them? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mike, I am very sure that those things are allegations anyway, but of course our guest will respond to them.
I think we have covered
Yeah.
most of those things. Maybe he didn't join up on time. We have addressed it that the whole scenario around the Brigadier General's death need more information, need more authenticity. And if he was talking about where they intercepted the rescue request by the general and his current location, you have also mentioned that, yes, there are moles in the military, there are moles in the DSS. And we have cybersecurity experts. Even the terrorists now, they use drones, so they could also intercept whatever they need to intercept, and so many other reasons around that we can't begin to speak about. It could be speculations, But one thing we have to be sure is that we don't have the capacity or capability right now as a government to stop this terrorism unless we look inward.
What should President Tinubu be doing?
Well, one thing he should do is to expand the presence of the policing. He should make sure there's no unpoliced areas, build new commands, recruit more people. The next thing that he do is should leave the judiciary alone. Don't let them be dancing to politicians because they want to get SAN and become senior advocates. Don't let them be dancing to politicians because they want to get judicial appointments. Let them be professional, okay? Allow the military. Let them decide who they will promote and everything, and present who will be the service chiefs to you according to the military tradition. Allow the police. The Police Service Commission and the making of the IG and all those things. Face your delivery of democracy, schools, health, community development, roads, and interface with international organizations, the image making of the country, our embassies, make sure they are active, our industries, make sure they are active, increase employment, not by words, by action.
Not by words.
By action. And make sure the economy speaks the right figures, not by imputed figures.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Ambassador Roy, it's been a pleasure having you in our program,
Always a
and
pleasure.
we really do thank you so much.
Sir. Thank you.
It's still the Transforming Tuesdays edition of the award-winning Morning Flight and award-winning station Love World XP. We're going to break now. When we come back, it will be the very final lap of today's program. Do stay tuned.